実態について、その背景を含めて紹介いたします。また、日本の他の死尿処理の取り組みについても紹介をいたします。
Please let me try my best. Thank you very much. I'm Tomio Suzuki, came from Japan, and thank you very much giving me this opportunity to introduce my study, whatever. And Nagano is a prefecture, and Nagano is one of the most mountainous prefecture in Japan, and I have been walking until up to the 2008 for Nagano Environmental Conservation Research Institute. So, taking this opportunity, I try to explain or provide information which we have been working or researching. And I try to address, that is the first subject, and the second also I try to explain what's going in outside of Nagano or in whole Japan. I would try to address the 3 points. The first one is background of human waste issues in Japan. And the second point, I would like to introduce technology, the human waste technologies in Japan used in the Alpine area. The third point is I would like to introduce government support systems in Japan. This is human waste, the issues, the background in Alpine area in Japan. In general, in the city area, we have 3 major methods. The treatment, the human waste treatment, the measures. The first one is sewage system, and the second is jokaso in Japanese. This is a clean tank, and third one is transportation of by vacuum. But those three major treatments, the human waste treatments, could not be used in the mountain or Alpine area. That's why human waste technologies has not been developed in the mountain or Alpine area. So many mountain huts are dumping human waste. And the most oldest mountain hut in Nagano Prefecture is about over 100 years has been dumping human waste. So when you're dumping a human waste, you're going to have these problems, the polluted water. But people have not focused on the issues until middle of the 1900s. Human waste dumping problems has been reported the first time in 1970s. Since that, the people pay attention and voluntarily and pioneering made a research. As a result, they found coli bacteria or E. coli bacteria existing in the river and fountain water. And the people recognized through this objective research, many people started recognizing the human waste treatment and the necessity. And a networking system to prevent dumping human waste also started. And SAT, to be explained later, SAT, the method, is one of the human waste treatment technology. And the next, I try to explain the human waste treatment technologies, and one of them is the SAT method. SAT means S for the seeding, A for the aeration, and T for trench. About the seeding, this means provide microbial into the raw or untreated human waste to destroy decomposition, to decompose pollutions. And aeration means broader oxygen to promote aerobic microbial to decompose pollutants. And the trench, this is the permeation. Trench means to permeate in the soil after secondary effluent is to be permeated in the soil. The size is 50 centimeters in the width and 60 centimeters in the depth. So I'm going to explain about secondary effluent treatment water later. But this means after 1 month, aerations, treated waters come from the first process. So this SAT method is used for the area where you cannot use the sewage system, cleaning tank, and transportation by helicopter. And I would like to explain the BOD. BOD means biochemical oxygen demand. So volume of the oxygens to be used, to be consumed by biologically. And also, for example, raw or untreated the human waste, the BOD of untreated human waste is about 10,000 milligrams per liter. Sewage water is about 200 milligrams per liter. After treatment of the sewage water, 20 milligrams per liter. And the next COD. COD means the chemical oxygen demand. So volume of the oxygen chemically demanded to decompose the pollutants. And the total nitrogen and phosphorus, these caused eutrophications in the river and the lake. So this is the outline of the SAT method. SAT method including the stages. The first one is aeration, and the second stage is soil penetration on soil soil permeation system. So for the first stage, using microbial, so-called bacillus, and seeding and aeration. This is the first time, but for the second usage, you can use secondary effluent as seeding material. So how much the air is required for this process is about 8 times of the air for wastewater for 1 hour. For the first stage, it takes about 1 month. So you can check how much the water was clean by checking in and out the result. And the second stage, second process, this is using the soil natural purification or a filtering system. So for the second process, we use a trench. The capacity of the trench is 1 meter, based on the 1 meter length. For the 1 month, 50 liter could be treated. And also there's a sampler that you can check how much the water how much water is cleaned. Also, you can check in and out. You can check the sample, then you could know how much water was cleaned. These photos are showing SAT method installation. One of them, this is Yoko Lodge. They have a SAT system. In 1999, about 10,000 people stay over the lodge or hut and use SAT method. And you could see aeration tank and blower tank. And next, this is another mountain hut, Jonen Lodge. Aeration the system. So at this, the mountain hut, about the 20,000 people use this system a year. So you could see vent, soil permitting water sampling device. So this is a view of the trench, the very under. Yep. This is a result of the first stage, the aeration. You see BOD is down to 95%, and the COD down to 59%, and total nitrogen 53%, and total phosphorus 29%, and chloride ions 70%. These are not treated at this first stage, but coli bacteria is reduced 99%. So these are result of the second stage soil permeation. This is in and out. BOD is 99% removed. COD also 99% removed, and the total nitrogen is 99, and phosphorus and chloride ion 99%. But these are not so these are including dilution of the rainwater. So you need to get a more accurate number later. So in order to get accurate result, you need some adjustment of rainwater. This is a system how to adjust the rainwater using mass balance. Okay, these are also a result of the secondary process, the soil permeation. But after the adjustment of the rainwater, you see BOD 93% removal, and COD 64, total nitrogen 58, and phosphorus, total phosphorus 98%. So this is the actual result using a SAT method through the first and the second stage, also including adjustment. So BOD removed 99% and COD 85, and total nitrogen 80%, and total phosphorus 99%. This is the final result actually used at the site. A little bit about more explanation about the secondary the process, soil permeation. So this technology using 1, 2, 3, physically and chemically and biologically, physically, chemically, biologically using. However, but it's not completely treated. There is some certain limit to clean up all the elements. So this system, cleaning tank, it's called jokaso in Japanese, is mainly used in the city area. It's not using in the mountainous mountainous area. So this system has aeration and unaeration, the cleaning system. The main reason why jokaso cleaning tank could not be used in the mountain huts or Alpine area is they need a lot of the water. But this system improved. They can use rainwater, and this system can be used at mountain hut. So the water is recycling, but the water getting dark, including the non-biological things in the water becomes dark, but it's not. Yes, still can be used for this system, the circulating system. So this is the one example, transport by heli. This is the toilet area, and the point is that they separate feces and urine through this tool, and feces tank is here. So in order to save the transportation cost by chopper, they only transport the feces, and the urine go through jokaso cleaning tank and disposed. This is another technology, composting method, which is used in the Japanese mountains. Yes, the point is controlling the moisture is important, and they're using a weight sensor to control the moisture, and the water goes here, but if necessary, the water has come back to this system. So the 60% of the moisture, that is important, required for this system. Also, another factor is the temperature. The temperature control is also important.
なお、この装置は展示室に設置されていますので、後でご覧ください。
Details of this equipment shown at our booth behind this conference. So if you have more questions, technical questions, please come to our booth, and we are very happy to explain. So there are other technologies to clean the human waste, the water, like these. The reason why is that each circumstances, conditions are different. So we use variety of the technologies in Japan. And the third subject about Japanese government support, you see from that this program started from the 1999 to 99. So you see the in 2009 about 102 facilities are installed under the Japanese government support program. So about Mount Fuji, we have 42 mountain huts. So all the human waste treatment systems has been installed by the end of the 2006. These technologies are installed in Shizuoka Prefecture. Mount Fuji is located in the two prefectures, Shizuoka Prefecture and Yamanashi Prefecture. So these are data 22 mountain huts in the Shizuoka Prefecture installed these technologies by 2006. So there are two support under the Japanese government programs. The first one is financial support, and this is technical support. And this is a system, environmental technology verification system. By 2009, 17 facilities are verified by Japanese government. You could get such information through the website, but in Japanese. So these are summary of my presentation. A human waste treatment issue is still on process or developing in Japan. So, but last 40 years, so we have done a lot of the improvement and installed the systems, human waste treatment systems. So through this conference, international conference, so I'm happy, very happy to contribute our study or assistance to the people. So thank you very much for paying attention to my presentation.
Can you talk a little bit about the maintenance required for these SAT systems and who's paying for that?
Yes, for such a system, basically there's no maintenance. So, and who's going to pay for the maintenance? There are some minor maintenance, but who's going to pay the maintenance? Basically paid by the owner of mountain hut. But some mountain huts, they have a tip system. The people who use this system, they pay some money and help support the owner.
I would like to know at what altitude and at what temperatures they are using the SAT system.
So the two SAT systems has been already installed in Japan at the two huts. One is located at 1,600 meters elevation, and they control the temperature in the range 7 degrees to 20 degrees centigrade. And another hut, elevation of another hut is 27 meters higher, and they have the heating system and control about 23 centigrade. Sorry, not 2,700, 25 meters elevation.
What's the price? How much money to install, to build and install it in one of the average sites?
Okay, SAT system. Okay, these two mountain huts. The one is the size of the tank is a 2-ton tank. The cost of the installation is $40,000. And another hut, which is higher elevations, the size of the tank is 10 metric tons. So it's cost $160,000. $160,000 US dollars is including the transportation cost by helicopter, the chopper, or the facilities transferred by helicopter.
In the aeration tank, how long is the effluent aerated before it moves into the disposal trenches?
It's about 1 month.
Is it a continuous process so that what's coming in versus what's going out is displaced?
So this is the batch system, not continuous. So once urine feces goes into the tank, about 1 month, then secondary effluent goes out to the second stage, batch by batch.
So you have several tanks to hold this month's waste plus this month's waste?
Basically, yes, 2 tanks. The holding untreated, the raw, the feces and the urines in 1 tank. This is a normal tank, just nothing special. Then take this one to the clean another tank.
Roger had mentioned that when he was there, he observed at a campground there was a SAT system set up. And I'm curious, is there a large group of users that do not actually use the lodges? And then if they're camping, is there a SAT system available for them to use, or day hiking or whatever, are they expected to use the lodges? And how does that work?
In his presentations, one mountain had about 10,000 people a year use the SAT system. Another had 20,000 people use SAT system. So calculate from how many people is going to use per year, then you can set up or you can adjust the size of the tank.
But I guess the question is the SAT system is a SAT system being used by the majority of people going up the mountain? Or is there a percentage of people that don't have access to that system? There just doesn't exist one in that area.
But this SAT system designed for anyone use, including people who stay at the hut, also people just walking through. So this designed for everybody. So that is kind of a rule at the mountain hut in Japan. So maybe they calculate how many people is going to use this area toilet, then arrange or design the size of a tank.
What I saw was it was just a toilet that was just out, just hiking off, on a trail system, and then we were between 2 huts, and there was just a toilet system out there, solar panels and everything. Yeah.
I know that you haven't installed that many at high altitude. I mean, 2,500 meters seems to be the limit. But theoretically, at what altitude could you use this? Say, for example, in Nepal, we have mountain huts at up to 5,000 meters. So the oxygen would be key, I would imagine. So what's the theory behind that? Assuming that you could keep the ground temperature constant and say above 7 degrees, which is, I think, what you said. The second question from Nepal's point of view is the budget cannot be met. $40,000 to $150,000, $160,000 is a lot of money. Most people wouldn't be able to pay for that. So could you theoretically use local resources, local building know-how, or local material to build these toilets? Is that a possibility?
Answering to the first questions, considering 3 factors, you could use SAT even on the high elevations. The first one is volume of the air. So usually they use 8 times the air for waste treatment. So you can increase 8 times to some numbers. And the second 2, some way you could increase the temperature. And number 3 is, yes, the period stay in the tank. So make it a longer period stay in the tank. So they set up the 1 month, but you can increase more than 1 month to apply to different conditions, altitude. And the second question, $140,000, which is expensive, but transportation by helicopter, that is a very expensive factor. So at the site, the system itself is not complicated, simple. At site, somewhere you can make some tank, you can reduce the cost of this. Yes, they are still under the development. So those are issues to apply different conditions and the cost issue.
My question is about the power requirements of the 2 existing facilities. How many kilowatts, or however you would like to express it, how much electricity is needed to run the blower and the pumps?
They use a SAT system at the two area. The first mountain lodge, mountain hat, they accommodate 10,000 people. Power is required 275 watt, kilowattか。275 watt electricity is required for this hut. And the second hut can accommodate 20,000 people. They're using 500 watt. But at this hut, they're using 1 kilowatt the heater to control the temperature.